Let's bring the November 16th, 2023 meeting to order. Salute to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Mr. Cohen?
Mr. Collins, excused.
Ms. Curran?
Excused.
Mr. D'Angelo? Here. Mr. Poliafico?
Here.
Mr. Parolo?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Stiltner?
Here.
Ms. Taglione?
Excused.
Mr. Ciccoletti?
Here. Thank you, Dr. Davis.
Welcome.
Solicitor, Mr. Truelove?
Yes, thanks, Mr. President. An executive session started tonight at 6:30 p.m. All board members who are present tonight were present at the executive session, along with Dr. Davis and myself. Items that were discussed were personnel, facilities, and informational items, and that meeting concluded just before this meeting started at 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Truelove. Approve the agenda with said addendum.
Mr. President, I make a motion we approve the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. D'Angelo. Have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Poliafico. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motions carried. Reports and presentations. Okay, student delegates. Noel Santana is first.
Good evening, everyone. Here are some events that took place at the high school in the past couple of weeks and what will happen in the nearby future. The varsity football team took on West Catholic, where they were unfortunately defeated last Saturday. The Unified Special Olympics hosted their annual leadership conference at Bucks County Community College, where there were 3 representatives from the high school. They learned about the importance of inclusion and partaken in various activities to show positive teamwork skills. The Thanksgiving pep rally will be held in the high school gymnasium on Wednesday, November 22nd, and the Thanksgiving football game will take place on Thursday, November 23rd at 10:30 a.m. at Morrisville.
Good job.
Thank you, Noel. Madison?
I will start off my presentation with the class activities from Miss Lynch. Her reading intervention classes are preparing to do literature circles, which help get the students jobs and work in groups. The students also have a word wall, which they collect words and place them on the wall to expand their vocabulary. The students are reading plays aloud with the use of props to practice reading influence. So far, the plays enacted by the students are The Golden Curse and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Students also earn tickets and prizes for good behavior and attendance. This keeps the students organized. I also have some information from Ms. Albright, our new school psychiatrist, and how she's settling in. She's attended conference last week for 3 days in Hershey to learn about the multi-tiered system of support, also known as MTSS, which helps her learn how to tend to students who struggle academically and recognize their behaviors so she can attend for their emotions before they start to fail. She surveyed all adults working in Snyder as well as the teachers to get a better understanding about students' behavior and to help them maintain it so they can focus on their education. She's learning currently information in Snyder Girardi to figure out things they are and are not doing so the students can feel more comfortable and improve their mood and focus in school. I also have some information about our school programs. The Warriors Delivery Cafe at both Snyder and the middle school is currently having a t-shirt sale, which ends on November 17th. The cafe's next program will be on November 21st. There is a to-be-determined date for the cafe program somewhere on December in the 11th week. Some student activities from Ms. La Rosa are the 7th graders will be starting the novel, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, this week. Students have also studied about the Nazis, World War II, Auschwitz, and the author John Boyne, so they can learn about perspective, figurative language, word meanings, theme, character analysis, sentence structure, and text-dependent analysis. Somewhere in December, the 7th and 8th grade students will be going on a trip to the Grundy Ice Skating Rink for the PBIS incentive program. Lastly, I have some drama club activities that we've been working on. On December 1st at 7 p.m., we will be performing the Winter Wonderland Showcase, as well on December 2nd at 6 p.m. Our Winter Wonderland is also a fundraiser for our Mean Girls play, which will be also taking place in December. The Drama Club will also be attending and performing in Bristol, the Bristol Christmas Parade this year. And that's all I have to say. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Madison. Good report. Yes, good report. Good report, girls. Superintendent, Dr. Davis.
Yes, it gives me great pleasure to take this opportunity. I remember last year, we talked about bringing in a STEM program because we had a up-and-coming program at the elementary, and we wanted to extend it into the high school. And working with Mr. Vitasi and his team, we're happy to have Miss Heather Nicholas as the teacher of that class, and will give you an update on how things going at this point. Heather?
I first want to say thank you because I know it was a big lift to get all the materials and stuff needed to start a program. I can fully appreciate how that can affect a budget when you're not really ready to start and everybody's money is tight right now. For the 7th grade, we are focusing on smaller STEM challenges and computer science, like computer applications. One of the things, if you don't know, I was the 8th grade science teacher. One of the things that we realized was a lot of the students could use Google Slides, they could use Google Docs, but they didn't know how to use them effectively. So I'm focusing on those as the main things, and then once we're caught up and we're done that, they get different STEM challenges. The one that we did, because we just switched the new quarter, they got 2 sheets of paper, a foot of tape, and they had to make the longest piece of paper. That's all the direction they were given. Some cut in spirals, some did strips, some were like origamiing their paper. I've never seen it before, but it worked. When they're left to their own devices, these students will come up with the strangest things, but they work well. 8th grade, we use the Spheros. I know Mr. Crossan introduces them to Spheros, he has them. But what we do is we create a city tour. Each group, at the end, the final project, each group picked a location in Bristol. So they had to research it. They had to find pictures. They have to make a scale model of it. So we're doing scale, which is part of the standards for math. And then they have to program the Sphero to move from one location to another, say a sentence or two about that location, and then move it. Unfortunately, with the first quarter, we didn't get to fully finish it. We were running out of time and space and all of that. But they actually enjoyed doing all of that. Even students who traditionally don't put forth a lot of effort really wanted to see their Sphero move. They did a hot potato game where they would have to, and this, not gonna lie, it made me a little nervous because the whole point was to toss it like you do a ball, a hot potato. And then it makes noises every time they caught it, but when it made a final bell, whoever was holding it was out. So, you don't want them throwing stuff around usually. I have the 2 web design classes, and then I have a class where it's 21st century production. So they've learned about the engineering design process. Right now, their challenge was to create a working game controller for somebody with a disability. Very, very vague directions on purpose. One group, I told them I was bringing it and I promised I wouldn't mess it up. There's 4 different things that they could have been assigned. I didn't let them pick them. They picked a random number and this is what you ended up with. This group, the person does not have full use of their hands. So they are in process of making a controller where it will work with the feet. They did that all on their own. Really want to make sure I don't mess this one up. Because they finally got theirs working. We are using the makey-makeys. It's a lot of wires, but for this one, when they use it, every time they push down, this end gets connected into the Chromebook. So every time they push down, it will make a connection. So they have to have some, I know, I went over it in 8th grade, Mr. Brown goes over it in 9th grade. We still had to refresh with the creating a full circuit, but every time they push down, it creates the circuit, and it will make the character move or play music, whichever they chose. So I don't want to, took them forever to get this working, and if I take it back broken,
And that's just powered by the Chromebook?
yeah. It's very low voltage, so nobody will get electrocuted. It's always a good thing. Now, this part. This is our intro to physical computing, which I was lucky enough, thank you. It's Rev Robotics. It's modeled after the first tech challenge. First Robotics is a worldwide organization. Tech Challenge is a smaller version of what they do. Goal is to have a team eventually. This one is not finished yet, but the kids built this so far. Eventually, we have the arm that moves. The goal is to control an arm so it picks up a piece, a plastic piece, and then it goes onto this black, it's like an angled board, and they have to stack them. So they're doing a in-house version of the actual first tech challenge. We're gonna set up what we can in the classroom, and sorry, Mr. Nastasi, we might be in the hallway. It's getting a little tight on space the more they build. But we had one student, the battery is held on with just a piece of Velcro. Made me a little nervous, because I said, you're going to want to drive these, you're going to end up wanting to take a corner, and we don't want it pulling. So one of the students measured, and we used the 3D printer to make a holder for the battery. This will get screwed into there. He actually measured where all the holes went, and the battery will go in and it'll hold it in. So he, like, we're,
That is.
so the goal,
That's awesome.
the goal is to, it's not just playing with cool toys, don't get me wrong, I love playing with cool toys, but it's showing them how to use them.
What grade are they?
This one, I think they're 10th and 11th graders. I think the freshmen are only in the web design class this year. So, but feel free to come. We're going to start driving them, hopefully next week. We still have to, when we're getting into this next part, we're all kind of learning it together. I know part of it, and the kids are showing me new tips and tricks, which is pretty cool, because we all know they know the tech stuff. When it starts, when we can start to drive it, we'll let you know, so you can come in.
You could come back to the meeting and show us how it works. Bring the students for a presentation.
I'm fine with that. They get to talk the whole time too then?
Yes.
All right, I'm there.
How are you acquiring the parts?
These, I got, we got the 4 kits. We're only using 2 right now.
They're kits.
These are kits, yeah. And then it was the 4 kits, and then I got an expansion pack. So we don't have to fabricate too much, because we only have so much equipment to fabricate.
Right. I mean,
I don't do metal
I
shop.
was just going to say, I mean, it's great. I knew there were kits, but I didn't know they came with all that. And I was going to say, we have an excellent electrician. If you ever need anything, I'm sure he would be. And the parts, I'm sure they would scrape something up from around the old wood shop and things, maybe possibly.
think the
Hopefully,
one
when we
thing,
have the two, they'll compete against each other.
if I could say something, I think the one thing I'm most impressed with is when I go into the class, or if whoever goes into classrooms, how engaged the kids are. Even some of the kids who do have some behavior problems or whatever, it's all hands-on and they're so engaged. It's the hands-on activities and what she's making with the 3D printer and connecting things to the technology we have. It's a great start.
Well, I think it's awesome and a testament to the kids when they had nowhere to put the battery and they actually thought of what they did and designed it and had it print out on the 3D printer. I think that's incredible. That's awesome. That's just,
Can I say something too, Ms. Nichols? I think you're doing a fabulous job. I feel like you're opening our kids to potential careers in engineering
Oh,
and
yeah.
the sciences and budding their eyes open, and that's amazing. That's great.
Thank you. Actually, the one student who created that, he was talking about he wants to go into metal fabrication. So I was like, here you go.
Ms. Nicholas, you might know a future aerospace engineer, correct? Can you tell us about that real fast?
My son, when he was in high school, he was the captain of his first robotics team, which is kind of what led me to this, because I can call and go, hey, we're having a problem with this. He got a ROTC scholarship and a scholarship from the university. He's going to Arizona State for aerospace engineering. And he's on the satellite competition team. Because of what he worked on in high school, they put him on the proton propulsion system. And I just kind of looked at him and went, okay, you're going to come home from your sophomore year in college and we will not be able to have a productive conversation, but okay.
And he's getting paid, correct?
Yes.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Wow.
So I try to tell our students that too, that if you, yes, proud mom, that if you work on these things, there's different avenues for you to
Yes.
do whatever you want to do.
Oh, this is opening the doors to all different kinds of things. They can go into the medical field and help and design different prosthetics. And this is great. It's a great program you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Could I just ask you one thing too, is that, that coming up with the idea for a carrier for the battery, that's solving a problem. It's
Right.
a basic thing, it's solving a problem. And as far as anything that you need, I know you're familiar with the IU, they have the Fab Lab. Anytime you need, if you have an idea, you want to take the kids up there to do anything, but I will tell you, when I was up there the last time, a group had gone up, and the people from the IU were amazed at some of the things that our kids were doing. Like, in other words, they were like, how did you do that,
Yeah.
And finally, I will say that you talk about a metal fabricator, and that's basically what that is. And the school district has a great friend right over there on the road, on State Road. It's called Railway Specialties. And many people don't know it. They make the hatch doors for every aircraft, not everyone, but for aircraft carriers, submarines. They started out doing it for railroad, that's why they're named. But right over there, it's a little small company that has big defense contracts. So, if that young man is interested, you put him in touch and we'll get him over there and get him to go see what it actually is like to actually do the metal fabrication. So, thank you.
I'll let them know.
Thank you. Thank you. And we'll have you back when the students, and we'll let them
Show
discuss.
you how it works.
Yeah, they do a presentation. Thank you. Okay, interim elementary principal, Mrs. Simikowski.
Hi, good
Hi.
evening, everyone. On Friday, November 10th, we had our first Outrageous Showcase. That was a big success. We collaborate with Bristol Riverside Theater. That's going really well. The teachers are awesome, and just like Ms. Nichols said, it's very engaging, and that's important. Kids are really learning. They're learning the waltz. They're being exposed to different kind of experiences in that outrageous class that they attend to. So the showcase is a big performance from grades 1, 2, and 3, and the kids really enjoy it. A lot of parents show up. Great job. Tomorrow, Friday, November 17th, we're going to have our first PBIS incentive. It is dodgeball, teachers get engaged, kids. That's part of our positive behavior program, where if you earn a Tomahawk ticket for the first quarter, you are invited to that, unless you did have an ISS or an OSS. And that's really fun. The teachers get really, it's an all-day event, and we do all different grade levels. It's a really good, positive atmosphere and good time. Positive competitiveness. Teacher observations are in full effect. We're focusing on looking for engagement in the classroom, use of assessments, use of our math book study that we've done, implementation of things like that. Our building score just came out for the 22-23 school year. It is a 73.1. And what that basically is, and I had to learn a little bit as well because it wasn't my forte, it's a combination, it's a percentage, a number based on your math literacy proficiency levels, a growth score, attendance, graduation rate, economic disadvantage. We did go a little bit, our last year, 21-22 school year was a 77, and it went down to a 73.1. But a positive thing is our comparable area school districts, our neighboring schools, we're right in the mix, and I feel like we're doing a lot of good things. There are a couple teachers, I'm not going to identify anybody now, but we have some teachers in the blue. And the dark blue really means good stuff. It means you're growing kids that maybe they're starting off low, but they're really improving in math and reading. We really do have some excellent teachers going on. So, and our comparable score looks really good either way. And we're all about growth. You know, our numbers aren't the best at all times. We want to increase that and improve on that, but we definitely are growing kids. I do see that. A couple upcoming dates. We have a fire drill planned for November 17th. We are on our way to our Scholastic Book Fair. It's a big endeavor. Thank you to Mrs. Jeswaldi, all of her volunteers. We have a big PAC team right now, our PTA. We have tons of volunteers. If any parents are watching and they want to join us to help volunteer for our book fair, we are looking for volunteers as well. But Mrs. Jeswaldi mainly mans that, and she does a great job. That is starting tomorrow, and it's running through the 29th. It will be open during parent evening conferences as well as the full day conferences that we have next week. Like I said, parent conferences, they will take place next week, Tuesday, November 21st, 6 to 8 in the evening, and then the next day, the 22nd, all-day parent conferences. One thing I didn't put on the agenda, which is a positive addition, is that I have already set up student teachers and practicum students for the spring semester. So we will have student teachers and practicum kids joining us from Holy Family and Westchester for the spring semester, and that's ready to go. That's all I have. All right. Yeah,
I
John.
just have one question
Yeah.
for you. So these numbers, yeah, I mean, the comparative schools, we're on top of every other one.
We are.
The only question I would ask you,
Yeah.
and you bring up, that we actually went down from last year.
We did.
I would be interested to see what those schools did. Because if they also went down, right, well then, that's pretty significant.
So there's a number that you get, there's a multiplier that you get with the economic disadvantage.
Yes.
It gives you a little bit of a boost. It's a
Yeah.
positive thing.
And that varies,
And
from
remember
year to
how
year.
our Title I population, our free and reduced lunch went down at the elementary school?
There's a
I'm
reason
wondering if
why.
our multiplier
So
went
that's
down.
it right there.
I-
But my point is, if you see a trend of, as we're
Yeah.
comparing, if they went down as well, well, then that says that we're really not losing ground, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the aggregate of all the schools are losing ground, and there's a reason for that, right?
Yeah.
And we can find.
We just don't want to be on the trend heading downward, that's all. Keep
So
moving
thank
up.
you.
4 points was a lot. So
Yeah.
did they contribute it to the pandemic?
I don't
And
think
what's
so
coming
at
from
this
that?
point. I mean, because we,
Or is this just so different
Well,
avenues and different, how did they come up with this number?
It's any piece of data that goes to the state, so.
formula.
So I feel, we're still talking about pandemic, we're trying to move on, but I feel some of the attendance might be because of
That's
that
in there.
a little bit still.
So are you saying our attendant, the students aren't coming to school?
Well, no, I'm saying it's getting better, but it's not as good as it was before the pandemic,
That is true.
so.
And also,
And
one
that's
of the
across the
main
board.
points that staff are now letting parents and students know, historically, it's the opt-out. Parents were opting kids out. So when you opt them out not to take the test,
It's
okay,
true.
that decreases your score. So we're promoting, send your students to school, take your test, you know, make 100% effort.
Wait a minute, when you say opt out,
The state allows a parent to opt out of testing.
Any state testing.
Yes, and I feel our numbers were high regarding, and that's a parent decision to opt their student
Yeah.
out. All right, and that was in COVID, and even at this point, was happening. Now there's more of an interest of having the students, because the teachers and administration are pushing parents, let the students take the test, give a go at it.
so you see more students,
Opt out.
Really?
Last year, yeah.
The goal from the state last year was 95%. That's how many. So if you have 100 kids that could potentially, let's say we have 109th graders that could potentially be eligible to take the Keystone Literature, they want 95 to take it, and have only 5 to opt out.
so if more than 5 opt out, that's a ding.
So,
It's a
well,
ding.
it's a ding, but yes, it could hurt our federal money.
Yes.
So, but
Yeah, and the other thing is that, you know, so again, when you look in comparative schools, the population of kids that opt out in Bristol might be different than, so if your best kid, brightest kids opt out, that hurts your scores.
That's gonna hurt you.
If in another district.
Well, let me ask you this.
You know,
What's the
lower
advantage
school.
of opting out? What is, I'm sorry, I'm new to this.
It's the
I never
law.
heard opt
It's
out.
the law.
There are
Well-
religious reasons
Yes.
that you can opt out.
For taking a test.
Yes.
There's also, some kids have anxiety or test-taking anxiety.
What's-
It's stressful a
Do we
little
know
bit.
the numbers of pre-pandemic to now, the percentage of what, who opted out until now? Obviously, that's a number that's climbing, and there's got to be something we can do. I get, this is so new to me.
Yeah.
Opting out, it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
That we allow this.
I think it's important, and we have to allow it too. We have to allow it by
Well,
the
because
state.
you're saying the
Yeah.
law.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, it's nothing against you
What
or
we've
the
done,
school.
no, that's okay.
Right,
And-
but it, like you said, it is a ding. It's
It
nobody's
is.
fault, but it's
It
still
is.
a ding.
But what we're
then
doing is having
it affects
teachers.
it affects the school district
Yes.
with the funding.
yes,
So
absolutely.
if, the thing is that it's a double-edged sword here.
It is.
But the other thing, Tony, is that overall, that's opting out of the test. The numbers of kids that are homeschooling and opting out is growing. So there's a lot of different variables, and it's hard to compare, but my point is, it is a ding, and it really shouldn't be, because, look, if
Oh,
a
I
parent
agree with
says,
you.
I want my kid out, they're out. and
My
then we
thing is,
move
if the
on.
state's going to make this a law, then it should not be held against the school district. It just shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I think it should
That's
be
me,
the other way
Randy.
around. I think there should be an incentive to when your numbers increase.
Yes.
You go
Yeah, I
from
agree
like-
with you.
If you go from like 85% and you go to 88%, I think there should be some kind of award for
That's
that
it,
number
that's
going
it, that's
upwards.
good.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Some kind of like.
But you understand, it's different from every year, from every class. It's longitudinal. It's not the same kids, right? It's a new set of kids every year with new issues, with new disabilities, or with new parents. And
Yeah.
so, look, here's what I learned from tonight. You guys are on the statistics, and you're not reading them falsely, right? You're trying
No.
to make sense of them, and that's all you can do. And there's a lot of different variables that even comparing school to school, it's not necessarily the right thing to do. That's just what the state wants you to do, because that makes it easy for them. But thank you.
Yeah.
One question. Is there any way that we can get, like John was asking, what these other schools?
I surely can look,
That's
absolutely.
easy.
Yeah. It's like the Future Ready Index.
It's
And
easy.
is this done this time of year each year?
They just came out. Yes.
That just came out.
Yep.
Mr. Nastasi, you have your report.
I
Go
do.
ahead, sir.
Try to be short here. Our first marking period ended on 11/10 last week. On 10/25, we held our school-wide lockdown in accordance with the Bristol Borough Police Department. It's one of our school safety exercises. It went really, really well. We probably had, I think, about 6 police officers that were in our school helping us out, working on this drill that we do once a semester. On 11/9, we held a school-wide hold mode school safety drill. The hold mode is the teachers keep teaching, the doors are locked, the windows are shut. It's basically to keep the hallways closed for emergencies, or if the lights go out, if there's a water leak, or if we have to, if the ambulance have to come up to the second or third floor, first floor. It was a really, really good response for both safety exercises. On 10/26, Mr. Brown's class visited Tesco to see the process of manufacturing and what it entails in manufacturing. It was a wonderful visit from his class. They walked over, walked back, and the owner of the company took them through how things are produced, how it's packaged, sales, the whole logistics of manufacturing. It was a great day outside of the building to learn something different. 10/27, our 7th grade team held our PBIS Halloween dance. It was a really, really good time. All the students enjoyed it. On 10/31, we had an 8th grade team. The 8th grade team held their PBIS Halloween dance. And this dance was a little different. We included some of our seniors in the dance. They had a real good time with the young kids. It was really fun to watch. On 11/2, we had our college career fair. We had 26 participants. It was a wonderful day. We actually had FIA there to help some of our students with the FIA process that's going to open up in December. On 11/17, tomorrow, we'll have 15 seniors, students will spend the day at Bucks County Community College to explore all their certificates and college programs. They call it the Future Ready Index. So these 15 students, we've met all of our seniors twice so far, and our goal is to have a plan for all 77 seniors when they graduate, whether it's college, some kind of trade, whether it's workforce, the Army, Navy, anything. So these 15 students have already been accepted to Bucks, and they're going to explore what they have to offer academically and what kind of certifications they offer. So it's going to be a wonderful time over there.
And Mr. Matassi is accompanying the students tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Nastasi. Okay,
But,
reports.
I ain't done, 2 more minutes, sorry. Sorry about the chick. So I have a bunch of numbers written down, but just to get right to it, our building score went down also a little bit. We're at 16.9. Last year, we were at like 16.7. I knew it would go back a little bit. Our biology scores went back a little bit. Our biology teacher was not with us for at least a half a year, but the scores were okay in biology. So we were at 60.9 compared to Ben Salem. High School was at 59, Bristol Township was at 53, and Morrisville was at 49. So to the local school districts around our area that we kind of compare with, we were a little bit ahead, so which was fun to see. All 4 high schools that I mentioned, they all went back a little bit this year. So, but I feel that it's setting us up for a nice jump for next year, I'm hoping. So, we made excellent growth in our high school English literature. Our biology, we made a little bit of growth, even though our scores went back a little bit. Our math Keystone scores went up 4% overall, but our growth went back a little bit, meaning that there's a mass of students that we have went to the left a little bit instead of going a little bit to the right, but there was another 4.5% that actually passed the Keystone. So we're very proud of that. To get better at the Keystones, we've set up CDTs, so it's testing that they're actual practice tests we're going to be doing. They all should be done by the second week of December. So we look at that data in biology, literature, and algebra, and we see what kind of direction we're going to once we hit the Keystones in the spring. So that's an intervention that we just put in this year to try to help our students get a little better at this test. The last thing I want to say is we got a really nice email from the Lackawanna football coach. So this weekend we hosted Lackawanna and Morrisville High School at our high school because Morrisville's facilities really couldn't meet the requirements from the PIAA. So we were friendly enough to say, okay. The coach from Lackawanna sent a beautiful email to me and Dr. Davis. He said our school was beautiful. It was clean. He was shocked how bright and painted it was, and
Wow.
and how great Supervisor Javi was. They call him a supervisor. But I thought it was a real proud moment for Mr. Gatto and the ladies and Javi and the crew
Yeah.
to really, make it real hospital, put out real nice hospitality. So they traveled 2.5 hours. They got here an hour earlier. They were anticipating some traffic. They were just sitting out in front of the high school. I said, "Come on in," and they were like, "Thank you." The bathrooms were immaculate. The cafeteria was immaculate. They sat down, ate their meal. They were clean, polite. Like, we couldn't ask for anything better.
Great.
So it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. That's it. Sorry. Sorry.
And can I just say something too? Sorry. It just sometimes, it's nice to hear something positive, They should be celebrated. I hear so many times, our bathrooms are a mess. Sometimes they look like we don't have toilet paper in them and things like that. But sometimes we step up our game and we look proud of who we are in Bristol. And that's nice. That's a good testament to their hard work,
Okay, so reports, comprehensive plan, special education, ESSERS, Title I.
Completed.
Completed, okay. Public participation, anyone from the public?
Good evening, I'm Dory Morgan. I just want to extend a thank you to Coach Ciotti and our high school football team. For the last 2 months, we've seen a number of our athletes come out to support the Bucks County Challenger flag football program at Neshaminy High School. This is a program near and dear to my heart. My son is a proud participant and finished his 5th season. And to see our young men show up on a Sunday morning, arranging rides, convincing parents to drive all the way out to Langhorne to play flag football with kids that might not get a chance otherwise, and to be kind, to be inclusive, and meet each one of those athletes exactly where they're at is a skill that needs to be acknowledged and celebrated, because not every teenager wants to get up early on a Sunday to do that. And they showed up and they were present in a way that needs to be applauded and recognized. And that says volumes about their character on and off the field. So we are very grateful for those young men, and I hope that we see more of them next year, because they are building real relationships that'll have a significant impact in a number of people's lives. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
acknowledging
you, Ms.
that,
Morgan.
Dory. Thank you. Okay, anyone else from the public? Okay. Let's go on to routine monthly business.
Okay, let's see if we can do this
All right.
here. Mr. President, I motion to, what's this, item six?
Yeah.
Item 6, to approve the minutes of October 19, 2023 meetings. B, approve the list of bills for November 2023. And C, approve the treasurer report for October 2023.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Polyafco, any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item 7.
Mr. President, I motion to approve the attached resolution indicating that the board will not exceed the index of 7.3% relative to the 2024-2025 school budget.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Polyafco, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Personnel, item 8.
Mr. President, I motion that we approve to hire the following district daily substitutes at a rate of $150 per diem, no benefits, effective the 2023-2024 school year. Jessa Bezer, elementary; Leah Vital, elementary; Jackie Boyle, the high school; and Austin Petalillo, high school.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Polyafco, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item C.
Mr. President, I motion to approve the hire of the following daily, day-to-day substitutes at a rate of $150 per diem, no benefit, effective the 2023-2024 school year: Taylor Bromley and Sarah Christopher.
Any questions? All those in
You
favor?
need a second.
Oh, I'm sorry, second. I'm sorry, second.
That's right. Second.
Second.
Polyafco, second. I'm sorry. And any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item D.
Mr. President, I motion to approve to hire the following district assistants and PCAs at a rate of $15.83 per hour. No benefits, it's per negotiated agreement, effective the 2023-2024 school year. Carolyn Kilbride, Alyssa Rodriguez, and Diane Winder.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Polyafco. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries.
Oh, we have one abstention.
We have one abstention, Mr. Stiltner.
Okay.
Okay. So motion carries. Item E.
I motion to approve to hire the following cafeteria employees, non-certified, at a rate of $11.73 per hour, no benefits, as per the negotiated agreement, effective the 2023-2024 school year. Ashley Sowers.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stiltner? Any questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries.
Mr. President, I motion to approve to hire the following substitute nurse at a rate of $30 per hour, no benefits, effective the 2023-2024 school year. That would be Amanda O'Neill.
I have a second.
Second.
Mr. Stiltner? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item G.
Mr. President, I motion to approve the consultant agreement with Dr. Joseph Downey for independent contractor and consulting services with all applicable terms and conditions set forth within the consultant agreement.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stiltner? Polyafco?
Whatever.
Okay, you got it, Jeff. Mr. Polyafco.
It's a tie.
Any questions?
Yes,
Well-
Mr. President?
Yes.
Can I read something that Mr. McHugh gave me to read for the board?
Yes.
Regarding
Regarding,
in new business letter A?
Well, let's get this
well, I
moved on.
gotta get this. Does it pertain to Dr. Downey?
No.
Okay. So, we have a motion by Mr. D'Angelo, second by Mr. Polyafco. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Okay, Dr. Davis.
Yes, in regard to Act 1, in new business letter A, Mr. McHugh wanted me to communicate this to the board. 7.3% of the total millage is 11.24 mils, which equals $786,800. The district is adopting this resolution, saying we won't exceed the 11.24 mils and $786,800.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Davis.
Welcome.
Okay, that's the attachment for A. Okay, information and discussion items. Our reorganization meeting will be on Monday, December 4th. That will start at 6 o'clock? 6:30, make it 6:30.
Changed it?
We want to go
Sorry.
Monday, swear-in is Monday.
You changed it from
Yes.
From the agenda,
From
yes,
December
yes.
6th?
Yeah, you want, well, yeah, is that you
Gotcha.
okay with
Oh,
that?
that's said, yes.
Yeah.
Good?
You just might want to make a note that we did amend that particular motion, or that date. It's not really a motion, so we just changed it. We did
Yes.
change it.
We did, that's an information item. Okay, so that being noted, Mr. Smith, go around the horn here.
I would like to thank Noel and Madison, great update tonight. Thank you very much. And congratulate the Warriors varsity football team, had a great season. And thank the two of you for your update. Thank you. That's it.
Mr. Parola.
Oh, one more thing.
Oh.
I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank them for coming out again. You guys done good. And this program with this electronic stuff is real good. So it's good that you guys are involved, and anything we can do to help, we're here. Just ask and we'll give you whatever you need. So, and I'd like to thank Nick.
It's okay.
Bobby.
Bob,
Okay.
Mrs. Simo.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're
for doing
welcome.
your job. very well. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody, too.
Thank you, Mr. Parola. Mr. Poliafco?
Yes, everybody have a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy the days and time off and with your family and friends.
Mr. Stelner?
Just want to say thanks to everyone. And also shout out to Nick and his staff. I was one of the participants at the college fair, and the students there were really engaged with each table. I heard them talking, and they really took charge of looking forward to their future. So I just want to say that's a testament to Nick and the staff and all the teachers up in the high school there. So thank you.
Dr. Davis?
Yes, I'd again like to thank our student delegates for taking this job very serious, which those two are definitely doing, and being here tonight. I'd also like to thank our science teacher, middle school, Ms. Nicholas, for being here. And I just want to point out, sometimes teachers don't get paid. Everybody thinks teachers get a check. Well, she's out here on her own, talking about the program we're trying to develop with our students and staff. And I just want to make that point. She didn't have to be here tonight. Okay? But she chose to do that. And that just tells something about the people we have working in our school system. And again, I'd like to thank Ms. Nichols. We'll see her again, so we can have all these things running around, okay, in the new year. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Mr. Trullo?
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Mr. D'Angelo?
I only have 3 things, but I think they're very important. But they are important.
Go
First
ahead.
of all, thank you, young ladies, but I want to say, Noel, I saw you at 10 o'clock this morning. You said you were tired. I didn't think you were going to make it. You made it. Okay, so there's 2 things going on in town this Saturday simultaneously. One is the Fall Classic, and the person that they're honoring is Pat Mulhern. Pat, who lives down the street from me, but he's very heavily involved in the Friends of Burlington Island. And when you look across the river, you see that island over there, and there's a new effort now to kind of clean it up, develop it, make it something, and Pat has been spearheading that for a while, again, as a labor of love. It's not what he does for a living. And so that's, he'll be recognized, but also 3 of our teachers will be recognized, okay? Number 1 will be Yvonne Gatelli. Yvonne's been with the district 27 years. She's a legend down here. She's had some health issues, but she's feeling better, and she will be honored. Also, Ron McGinn up at the high school, another 27-year, who is really having a great year. Not only does he run our Silver Bay retreat for our seniors, but he has done such an excellent job with our cross-country teams, both male and female. Both teams went to the States, had every one of our kids had personal bests in their running. And just like we talk about getting better year over year, every one of our kids, both programs are growing. Both programs have a lot of support and create a lot of school spirit and involve the parents of the kids, okay? And also Elizabeth McAndrew. She might not want me to say this, she's been with us 29 years. And again, I would echo what Dr. Davis says. You know, when you really look at our district, it's our teachers, it's our people. And so if you get a chance, you can still get tickets. I think Mr. Anastasi might have some. Go. It's going to be held at the Bristol Municipal Building down there off Maple. What is it?
Maple Beach
Maple
Road.
Beach Road, and that's something. I think the tickets are $60, but it really is a way. And the AOC is sponsoring it. They give back. I know we might even be asking for the STEM lab to give us some stuff. So if we can support them. Also, right over here at the Hybos, even to me, even a little more important, there's a benefit for the Bristol Food Bank that's over on Wood Street and Mill Street, and it's $10. There's a concert there with the River Drivers. Again, the food bank is run by Jeff and Helen Fisher, who have been doing it for a long time, who also work in conjunction with our food banks, both at the high school and so constantly helping the less fortunate in Bristol. And one of the things, and I've known Jeff all my life, one of the things Jeff has always said was, you know, nowadays it's really not that hard to get canned goods, food, and certainly they would gladly appreciate any donations. But what really is they need now is they're getting so big and serving so many people, they need money for their rent and their utilities and for the people that work for them. So if you could, I know I'm going to be at both, right? I'll be from one to the other. But for $10, if you can't make the other one, come over to the High Bows, listen to some good music, benefit a really good cause, okay? And again, finally, I just want to say that getting back to our sports teams, our cross-country teams, and our football teams. And you hate to try to say, well, congratulate this person and that, because it's really everybody. And I'll just leave you with this. Our football team lost to West Catholic, but I was at the game when we beat New Hope. And here's what I saw. I saw kids competing with great sportsmanship, giving it their all. I saw cheerleaders out there cheering for them. I saw parents in the stands rooting for them. I saw our drum corps rousing up the crowd at a great victory. I saw Mr. Nastasi and Dr. Davis on the sidelines. Dr. Davis actually tried to go into the game on one play, but they called the timeout and they didn't get a penalty. And finally, the best thing of all was that we were beating them pretty badly. It was the last play. They weren't even going to snap the ball. The clock was winding down, and it was our kids, our Bristol kids, that reached over and shook hands from the kids from New Hope. And they noticed it, and I noticed it, and I can just tell you that there's really good things going on at Bristol High School. And thanks to you, and you, and you, and all the coaches and teachers. So thank you, and everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mr. D'Angelo. Okay, I'll wrap this up, girls. Thank you for your presentation, very good. Dory, thank you for recognizing our sports team, coming out and supporting your group. Ms. Nichols, thank you for your presentation, very informative. It shows what our students are doing. That's way above me here, but thank you. We'll have you back when everything is working, and we'll have the students give a little presentation. But thank you for all your hard work. Mr. Nastasi, thank you for your report. Mrs. Simo,
Thank you.
this may be your last meeting.
It may be.
It may be.
Yeah, maybe. Don't. If I could say a couple words then? All right, never mind, I start crying. It's been a pleasure. Never mind. I love Bristol, I do. I feel like I've had 8 years of growth. I do love the kids. It's a bittersweet decision. I wasn't expecting this. I do. I am honored to work here. I love having the opportunity to be a leader. I love our children immensely. And I'm happy every day that I come here. So it is bittersweet that I'm leaving. I'm off to, learn new things, grow myself as a professional. I'll learn a little bit of a K-12 spectrum. But I've had nothing but 8 years of happiness here with the staff, and I've learned a lot from them. And I feel honored that I get to contribute to the Bristol community. I do. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting it.
Well, I wasn't sure you were coming, and I was going to excuse you because that's just a reorganization.
Yeah.
But we want to say thank you
Okay.
on behalf of the board, even the board members that are not here, on behalf of everyone. Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you. And I appreciate it, believe me.
Okay, we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
By Apple, second by Mr. D'Angelo.
It was like, drop.